Hello gorgeous peeps, I'm Chris from TechSpert, and today we're going to be unboxing and doing a full-on tour of the Realme 6i, the final of Realme's new 6 series trio, and the most affordable of the bunch as well, at just €200, so hopefully around the £180 price point when it comes to the UK. It's going to be a rival to the likes of the Moto G8 Power, Oppo's A9 2020 with a massive 5000 mAh battery stuffed inside. So let's get the Realme 6i ripped on out of the box, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Oh, that's on there nice and tight. There we go. So hey, welcome to the Realme family. Thank you very much. Nice warm welcome there. Inside this bad boy, let's embrace a new journey. Very dramatic indeed. You get a condom case in order to help protect your Realme 6i on the cheap. You've also, of course, got a pokey pin device to actually get your SIM in there. There's the actual Realme 6i itself. Let's just set that aside for a second, see what else we get here in the lovely box. Got a rather sizable charger, as you can see there. This is a 2-pin European edition because it's a European review sample, but of course you'll get a 3-pin plug if you buy it here in the UK. And you got your USB Type-C charging cable as well. Great to see a bit of Type-C action, even on a budget-friendly smartphone. And that's your whack, that's everything in there. So there we go, I've unsheathed the Realme 6i. And one of the things that I always love about Realme is the fact that they always go absolutely batshit bonkers with the design, even on their budget-friendly smartphones. Check out that funky striation pattern as the Realme 6i's arse end catches the light. That is a thing of glory. So this is the green tea model. You can also pick up the Realme 6i in white milk, as opposed to green milk. Something would have gone seriously wrong there. It's definitely got quite a plasticky sort of finish to it, as you'd probably expect from a sub £200 smartphone. As you can see, although a matte finish as well, there's no gloss surfacing or anything like that, so hopefully it shouldn't attract greasy prints, dirt, muck, things like that. And this thing's definitely got a proper heft to it as well. It's around the 200 gram mark, so it definitely doesn't feel toy-like in that respect. That's always a good thing. Do a quick tour of the handset. Looks pretty straightforward stuff really. Of course, you've got your power button over here on the right edge. Flip it over to the left edge, you've got your volume rockers right there. Nothing up top, nice and bare. And then down below, you've got your Type-C USB port, your mono speaker grill, and glory of glories, an actual headphone jack too. Lovely stuff. You can always count on budget blowers to still be rocking that headphone jack action. And of course, here on the back, you've also got a fingerprint sensor, an actual physical sensor, which is just slightly indented into the surface there, so it's easy to find. And you've got your multi-lens camera arrangement, which we'll be touching on in a bit. And if you were to slip the bundled condom case onto the Realme 6i, well, first of all, you'd hopefully do a better job than I have, because I'm really struggling with this thing. Come on, you little bugger. You know you want to. There we go. Slap that on. As you can see, you can still make out that funky striation effect on the back end. Doesn't add too much in the way of girth. It'll help stop the back end of the Realme 6i from getting all scratched up, and also it juts up above the surface of the display, so if you were to accidentally face plant the phone on the ground, hopefully it should protect that screen as well. And now to somehow get the bugger off again. Ugh. And the good news is, not only do you get a bit of Gorilla Glass 3 plating to protect that display, but you've also got a built-in screen protector as well. So as you can see, they're pre-installed, so hopefully it'll soak up a good bit of damage, keep that screen absolutely pristine. Right, we are all set up, and as you can see there, of course, a good bit of Realme UI action, which is what all Realme smartphones that'll come out now will be rocking instead of the old Color OS. That said, of course, Realme UI and Color OS share a lot of DNA. I'm not going to spend ages banging on about Realme UI again here in this Realme 6i unboxing though, because I've actually done a full tips and tricks guide showing off the best features and basically how to get started with Realme's fresh new launcher, so go check that out if you want to know more. Now, the Realme 6i definitely impresses as far as the SIM arrangement goes, because as you'll see here, when I yank it out of the tray, you've not only got space for 2 SIM cards, bit of dual SIM action, but you've also then got a separate tray for your microSD memory cards as well. Great stuff. And to unlock the phone, of course, you've got that rear-mounted fingerprint sensor. Let's just give it a quick testing out. So tapping my finger now. Yeah, that seems nice and fast and responsive. Definitely great stuff. And on top of that, you've also got face unlock as well, which is always great to see on a budget blower. So all you got to do is just tap that power button. As you can see, face is recognized within about a second or so. You're into your desktop. So you've also got full raise to wake support as well. So that you just pick up the Realme 6i, it'll start scanning for your face, and boom. Nice and nippy, very impressive. Now, it's a 6.5-inch display here on the Realme 6i, so pretty standard size these days. As you can see, you do have a little nipple notch poking its way into the action when you go a bit full screen on your bit of Netflix, YouTube, whatever, but it's not too intrusive. As you can see, they're reasonably punchy colors as well for an IPS panel, looking pretty good. Brightness levels seem perfectly respectable, viewing angles and everything like that, all good too. And those bezels aren't crazy thick, again, for an affordable handset, you know, a fairly chunky one down below, but pretty standard. And of course, the fact that it is a 720p HD resolution rather than full HD means that things do get a little bit grainy at times, certainly when you're kicking back with a movie, something like that. Nothing too terrible though, it'll be absolutely fine for just kicking back with a bit of Netflix or something like that. And if you dive on into the display settings, you'll see you've got a little bit of control over the Realme 6i's colour output, just basically the temperature, that's pretty much it. You do have the usual dark mode, the eye care mode, just to make the colour temperature a bit warmer automatically in the evening, so it's a bit easier on the eye. And of course, no, there's no 90Hz support here on the Realme 6i. Frankly, I was surprised to even find it in the original 6 and the 6 Pro. It's absolutely bonkers at that sort of price point. As far as the audio goes as well, you get a single mono speaker output. There's no stereo speaker action here, unfortunately, unlike some of the Moto smartphones and some Oppo budget ones as well. But it seems pretty punchy on that top volume. And nice design. I mean, for that sort of price point, if the camera is your priority, I'd always point people towards like the Pixel 3a, for instance. That's got a hot camera, absolutely fantastic. So you can see they're nice and clear, even on top volume, and should, you know, be able to cut through a reasonable amount of background noise as well. So decent stuff. And you've got Bluetooth 5 support on there, and of course the headphone jack as well if you need it. Now, powering the Realme 6i, you've got Mediatek's Helio G8 chipset, backed by either 3 or 4 gigs RAM. This is the 4GB version. So far seems perfectly smooth for everyday stuff. I'm expecting to see a few little stammers here and there, and for gaming it'll probably be maybe just about caught with PubG Mobile on those lower detail settings. And for any benchmarking fans out there, there's further confirmation that, of course, yes, the Realme 6i isn't going to be the nippiest horse out of the blocks, but yeah, again, it should be absolutely fine. At least there's a decent multi-core score, so hopefully it should be absolutely fine for your multitasking, running a few apps in the background, all that kind of shenanigans. Unfortunately, it is only single band Wi-Fi here on the Realme 6i, 2.4 GHz. Doesn't look like it supports the 5 GHz band, but in better news, you do at least get NFC support, so you can get a bit of that on the go for your Android payments, things like that. And one of the undoubted highlights of the Realme 6i is the fact that you've got a 5000 mAh battery packed in there, the exact same size as the Oppo A9 2020, the Moto G8 Power and the G8 Power Lite. So hopefully that should easily keep you going for 2 full days, especially as you've got that 720p resolution screen and that very energy efficient Mediatek chipset as well. So it doesn't seem to be trickling down much at all, just with general screen on time. And of course, you've got the usual power saving modes, and even the fast charge is pretty impressive. You've got 18 watt charging, so hopefully it shouldn't take all day to power you back up again. And impressive amounts of storage as well. The base model comes with 64 gigs, or you can bump up to 128 gigs if needed as well. Plus, of course, you've got that full microSD memory card support too, so definitely very solid for a budget blower. And then last up, there is a quad lens rear camera here. These budget blowers are getting absolutely bonkers with the number of lenses. You've got a 48 megapixel primary lens, f1.8, and that's backed by an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, a 2 megapixel macro lens, and a final 2 megapixel black and white portrait lens. Now, as you can see, even though this is a budget friendly device, you've got absolutely stackfuls of features here to play around with. So you've got the likes of an HDR mode. Give this a little tap, you've got the chroma boost, which will just help to pump up some of those more vibrant colors. You've got the usual filters and everything as well if you want them. And then of course you can play around with the different lenses by tapping here. So you've got that ultra wide angle lens you can slap to. And then you've got a bit of digital zoom action as well, because of course there's no telephoto lens. That would be a bit much of an ask. So you can do up to 5 times, but I'm guessing things are going to get pretty grainy. Even at 2 times, it'll start to look probably not amazing. You've got that portrait mode using, of course, the black and white depth sensor, so you can snap to that at any point. And if you tap down here, you can control the bokeh level as well, so you can bump it all the way up. Really help your subject to stand out. And by default, the Realme 6i uses that 48 megapixel lens, but it shoots at 12 megapixels because it uses a bit of pixel binning just to brighten up your shots when the conditions aren't quite perfect. But if you want that full 48 megapixel resolution, just slap on there and that'll give you a nice detailed shot. And you've got a few extra bonus modes as well, including of course a Pro Expert mode, which allows you to fiddle around with the likes of the white balance and everything. Doesn't look like there's a RAW option on there, unfortunately though. And it doesn't look like you use that ultra wide angle lens when you're in the expert modes either. You've also got a night mode, which you can use with a variety of lenses, which will just capture various different exposure shots and slap them together to create a more balanced, brighter result. And then as far as the video goes, I believe it tops off at full HD, but let's just double check. Yeah, full HD is the maximum level there. And then if we swap around to that 16 megapixel selfie cam, as you can see there, it's going to be fairly basic for your sort of standard Instagram shots and everything. I'm looking quite grainy there already, which is a little bit worrying. You've got HDR Smart. You can use the likes of the portrait mode, just using a bit of software smart. So if you want to block out the background stuff, let's see how those look. Oh my god, I look like I'm absolutely thrilled to be shooting this video. But you know, those portrait smart seem absolutely fine. And yeah, a little bit grainy and a little bit blurry there, so not amazing. So that right there in a nutshell is the Realme 6i budget-friendly blower. It'll certainly be a reasonable rival to the likes of the Moto G8 Power Lite, things like that, with 720p display, 5000 milliamp hours, should get some very strong returns indeed per charge. So if battery life is a priority, definitely give it a go. The camera tech seems sort of pretty basic, obviously the display itself and everything. Nothing overwhelming, but should be absolutely fine just for your everyday shenanigans. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a lovely week, people. Cheers!